CityWorks Expo is a collaborative, co-creative, and multidisciplinary idea exchange and festival conference that happens each fall in Roanoke, Virginia. By day, attendees are immersed in thought-provoking presentations, riveting performances, and engaging dialogue. By night, the conference continues with after-hours networking opportunities during street festivals, parties, and musical events. To learn more about Expo, visit cityworksexpo.com. Expo 2014 was made possible by these fine sponsors.
The grandest journey of all, complete with a myriad of meandering side trips, challenging obstacles, and fulfilling discoveries of self, often grants us with glimpses of innate truths that we all have access to, but would often rather not bring to full consciousness. Sometimes, all it takes is a vague notion to completely change the way you interact with the world. Recently, I encountered something so immediately profound that I knew that I would never view my reality the same. For me, these seemingly random epiphanies often start with a joke. In this particular case, I was joking with a friend about how I considered all the windows in this town my windows. That somehow, just because I fancied myself a window cleaner, that now I get to possess all the glass. Now, of course, I was just kidding, but almost as soon as the words came out of my mouth, I realized how absurd the notion was. I don't own any glass. And to be honest, I don't believe we own a thing. In fact, upon further reflection on the subject, I came to understand that, as Mr. Anonymous said, the desire to own is rooted in an outlook of scarcity, insecurity, and attachment. Think about it. What are some of the objects that you covet the most? What things in this world would you rather go to great lengths to hold on to? What are some of your favorite belongings that you carry with you at all times, instead of not knowing where they are for even a moment? For me, I'm partial to my bicycles. Well, mostly one of them. And then there's my favorite pair of shoes that go with everything, and maybe a bow tie or two that I'm sure I couldn't live without. Cell phone, pocket knife, backgammon set. You get the idea. We love stuff. But having things is not the issue at hand. It's all about how we view the things in our life and our relation to them. I believe that all too often, our default perspective on ownership and possession is, in fact, one rooted in a false notion of scarcity. We want the things we want because we are somewhere deep down afraid to not have them. Take food, for instance. We all know that food literally grows on trees. But what do? We stock up, we hoard, sometimes we overeat, and we'll even fight like dogs over it if we have to. If we didn't do any of that, though, would it still grow? And money. This is the stuff we all work so hard to accumulate so that we may afford to buy more stuff that we often don't really even need. And some of the things we buy require more things just to work, or constant maintenance and upkeep. It makes me think of Fight Club when Tyler Durden put it quite bluntly: the things you own end up owning you. But giving up these things and living the life of a monk is not for everyone, though I must admit, at one point, it seemed like it would be the path I would take, until I realized that for me, it only served as a form of escapism. I wasn't ready to turn my back on society and let go of all my worldly possessions. The false notion, or the illusion, if you will, of scarcity is what I really yearned to let go of. The illusion is just that, a fallacy, and one that seems to have been manufactured long ago in order to veil the truth that we are limitless creatures capable of unbounded abundance. And just like an illusion, all it takes to see through it is realizing that it's false, and therefore no longer has any power over you. So now that I've released my mind of this shackled paradigm, I've begun to see the things in my life in a whole new light. I no longer feel as if I own or possess them. Instead, I now see myself as the custodian, the caretaker, perhaps. Just as the glass that I clean has often been around long before me and will continue to be when I am not, so too will most of the things I am in care of. If I can only just take care and nurture these items, they will continue to be enjoyed by future generations. Some of my favorite things have already been through many adventures and survived unimaginable circumstances. And though I may never know the details of my belonging stories, I take comfort in knowing that I contribute to their legacy. And when it finally does come time to pass my personal effects, whether willingly or by death, It matters not how much fun I had using them, or where I've taken them, or even how much they served me. What will really matter is how well they were cared for. Because it's at this point that it will be determined by the next person whether my once beloved treasures are indeed still desirable or have amounted to nothing more than junk. This sentiment is echoed in not only the material world, but also in how we interact with each other and our planet. We should all consider ourselves custodians of our earth and of one another, for without them, our individual lives would be meaningless. We only know ourselves in relation to all things that are not us. So I like to consider each moment as an opportunity to be the person I want to be in the world I want to live in. The world I live in is not one of scarcity. It is one of abundance. But the difference is only in how I view it. For in reality, neither exist. Both are simply internal thoughts applied to the external world. The eternal truth, however, is that we make our existence what we choose, whether we're conscious of this process or not. Changing your mind about how you see the world effectively transforms it. And one mind at a time, the entire paradigm shifts with you. Choose the one that you would rather live in and pass along to the next generation. Be that change you crave. Once we let go of the ideas that no longer serve us, we are then free to form the ideas that serve us all. We can then begin to see the world and the things in it as tools to help ourselves and each other to create a better, more abundant existence. And we all possess the power to do so. Indeed, our greatest possession is that power. The power to adapt, alter, and change the world around us. History and the current state of our world is comprised entirely of the decisions and actions of individuals. And that's what you are, history-making individuals. Use yourselves wisely.